It's 2025, and if you're still not 1,000 rated, then stay tuned to get some chess tips to level up your game. I'm 30, and I've just started playing chess, so whatever opening we play, it's always the 30-year gambit, and I'm going to show you what life is like for a beginner chess player. Today, I'm going to be talking about the 5 biggest tips that got me from a 500 rated, blundering beginner player to a 1,000 rated player. I'm still blundering, but just less than my opponents. When I first started playing, yeah, I knew how the pieces moved. But did I actually know how to play chess for real against other people who were actually playing chess for real? Nah, I thought I was a complete beginner. I was blundering my queen a lot, and the knights were just constantly confusing me. But after a while, it started to come together, and I managed to climb to 1,000 rating with a 62% win rate, which for me was a massive achievement. And I know everyone's talking about GM and 2,500 rated, but for me, 1,000 rating, it felt like a gold medal. So how did I do it? Well, stay tuned. Now I'll take you through the 5 top things that got me from 500 to 1,000, and maybe they'll help you too. Let's kick it off with tip number 1, the easiest, most straightforward chess principle that everyone should know. Get your pieces out and castle early. Don't be getting your queen out on turn number 2. I see what you're doing, and I used to do it too, but you should wait till your king is tucked up in bed behind his pawns, and then you can think about your attack. And this stops you from having your king exposed in the center, can't castle, and you're just going to fall to some early attacks. And let's move on to tip number 2. Make a plan. A bad plan is still better than no plan. Learn one opening for white, two openings for black, one for d4 and one for e4. So I learned the London system for white and the Caro-Kann and the old Benoni defense for black. Honestly, I just like playing the old Benoni because I would play it and then people would pause for a couple of seconds and be like, what the fuck is this opening? Because it's rarely played, so it's pretty fun. And yeah, once you got some your opening knowledge, then that will help you guide you through the early game. Don't just mindlessly watch all the chess videos about winning in 5 moves with a so-and-so opening, or this gambit has a 90% win rate and it's unstoppable. These openings just so rarely happen, and if you try to learn too much at once, then you end up remembering nothing at all. So like I said, stick to 1 or 2 openings, learn some different variations, and once you know them really well, then maybe you can learn some more obscure stuff. All right, let's move on to tip number 3, calculating trades. It's so easy as a beginner to miscalculate a trade and end up a piece down. Easiest way that I've found is just to count the number of attackers and the number of defenders and think who is taking first, as this does make a difference. Are there any checks or in between moves along the way that your opponent can make or that you can make? Does taking this piece open up an attack on another piece? Watch out for pawn takes in the center and bishops on diagonals hitting your rook. I've fallen prey to that quite a lot. And thinking about these calculations will help you make better trades in your games and maybe find some good tactics along the way. Right, let's jump in to one of my games and I'll show you where you can go wrong calculating trades. So here we've got a nice center with white, we've got our knights out, we've got a bishop out, and we're probably looking to castle queenside. Our knight's pinned here, and the queen is attacking our knight here. So our opponent is looking to dislodge that with their pawn. So they push, I take, they take with their bishop. Now, what I should have done here is count the number of attackers and defenders. So here my opponent has 2 attackers on my knight and only has 1 defender with my queen. Best move here is to bring the bishop back and give 2 defenders. What do? Attack with the rook, thinking, he'll just get scared and run away, not calculating how many attackers and defenders are here. So obviously he takes, and then I think, this is a great move with my rook. You see the evaluation bar drop there. I can attack 2 pieces at once. What can go wrong? Well, my opponent can still take the rook with their queen, and in my head, this has gone terribly wrong, basically, and I'm going to have to be forced to take with my pawn. They take my queen, and we end up here with me on a losing position, down pieces. And what I didn't calculate along the way, even when things go wrong, if your opponent makes a blunder and you can calculate from it, don't just go through the original line that you had in your head. So here, after my opponent takes my rook, that I thought was a brilliant move, we actually do have a great move here, which is in between. They think that they're completely winning, that, we're just going to trade queens here and they'll be up material. And what is actually here is queen to a4. And after they block, we can pick up their queen for free. Well, apart from all the blunders beforehand, but we would still be in a significantly winning position. So think about attackers, defenders. What's your opponent trying to do? And look at the in-between moves, because they might just help you win a game. Unfortunately, I was a bit too slow to get it this time. On to tip number 4. Thinking about your opponent's moves. Don't just think about your own checks, captures, and attacks. Think about what your opponent is trying to do. Why did they move that piece there? That didn't make any sense to me. Well, they must have a plan if they're a good player. Think about what they're trying to do. This should help you stop falling for simple checkmates and maybe spot the more devious tactics from your opponents. And finally, tip number 5. Tactics, tactics, and more tactics. There's a lot to cover in this one. Pins, skewers, forks, discovered attacks, double checks. Now, if you're thinking, what the hell is he talking about? Then you need to get learning. Because if you employ just a few of these in your games, then you're going to get some easy wins. And this video isn't to teach you all of these moves. I'm just here to point you in the right direction to improve your chess game. So, get learning tactics. Right, that about wraps it up for this video. Let me know in the comments what tip you think will be most useful in your games. And if you got any more tips for me, then let me know too, because I need all the help I can get. Subscribe if you want to hear more content from a beginner chess player, and I'll see you in the next one.